Far out, man. What a journey that was. What a trip that was. A Tri-Fit Games 2019. Nothing says, can you handle the heat? Can you handle the pressure more than being involved and really organising and running. And I had so much help. I'm so grateful for the judges, the volunteers, all of that. But having an 11-hour period where you had to perform constantly with over 50 people on the floor every single 20 minutes for 11 hours straight, with over 1,500 people take part in the day, with 600 athletes, probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest competition in the world when it comes to competitors and athletes involved. G'day, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Big Red, but of course, you already know that. And welcome to the Real Dad Movement podcast. Wow, what a far out. I think I'm still recovering. That was something else. I'll tell you that much. I've run some pretty big comps before in the past, and I used to say I'm naturally an introvert. I don't believe that to be true. I believe we can be anything that we want to be, and we're naturally inclined or lean towards certain elements or areas of our life that are strengths and weaknesses, and we see it that way. But I love having my own time, me time, being alone and just reflecting, kicking back, playing some music, doing my own thing, chilling out, love nature, that sort of stuff. But I also love being at the forefront of performance, service, and adding value in some way, shape, or form to people's lives. And what better way to try and challenge myself and to showcase that in running the Tri-Fit Games in 2019. I'll take you on a little journey through the processes, what happened, what's involved for that to come to fruition and actually be real and happen with massive success, mind you, and also what's going on in my head. And Al, can you handle it all? What sort of stuff are you made out of? What have you got? Have you got what it takes to really pull this off? But here we go, the Tri-Fit Games. Now, look, I've done personality tests before. There's one called a DISC profile. I think that's pretty extensive. That's one of the best ones that I've seen around to date. And it goes into quite a fair bit of detail. And my end results became very high level influencer, high D and high I, high influencer or highest influencer and highest, can't remember whether it's dominator or determined. I think there's both. I think it's a collective of both, actually, what the D stands for. And the other two, I actually can't even remember. I think one is conscientiousness and the other one, I can't remember the S. Nonetheless, it actually turned out that when you do those two, it sort of tags you in a line, and mine is the promoter. I am the promoter. And I found that really funny because at first I was a bit offended because that whole snake oil salesman, old school type mentality of, the old promoters, ladies and gentlemen, gather around here. We got this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, I don't know, like promoters, is that somebody who just pushes something fake for their own agenda? And then obviously it came to light that that's something that can mean whatever you want it to mean. And I am naturally a great promoter because A, I only ever promote something that I truly wholeheartedly believe in, and B, those things that I truly wholeheartedly believe in add value to people's lives in the health and wellness space or not. They absolutely add value to people in wanting to be their greatest version and be the best they can be. So when I ran through that test and did it, it was a really funny one because I thought, geez, is that really true? Surely you could jig the system or do this. So that was pretty comprehensive with the results in going into all the details of what entails with this personality trait. And you can be many, many things. Everyone's a chameleon in their own right. Obviously have a different, I wouldn't say version of Al, but approach in part of who I am, a part of who I am when I engage with my grandparents or my nan. She's the only one left now on mum's side, as opposed to my parents, as opposed to my friends, as opposed to members. And it's not that you put up masks or different things. It's we have a whole range, a whole series of different facets, so to speak, that collectively make up who you are. You're not just one person. You have all different forms and feelings of emotion and who you are. And that is how it is. And I think one of the best skills and traits you can have, and all of this is always from a light of love and genuineness, mind you. It's not through manipulation. It's just being who you are to collectively connect with the other person in who you are and a part of who you are that's inside of who they are. And that's what life is. That's what coaching is. Coaching's connection. Everything's connection and a transaction or a transfer of energy. Now, when I looked at all of that, it's like, well, I look back, I've got some pretty good runs on the board in getting people together. I've run some successful comps, and I just had a good feeling about TriFit this year. I thought, you know what, I reckon this is going to be massive. We've got the runs on the board, we've run it well in the past, and this is going to be a big comp. And we had over 130 teams register within 48 hours. And I was down in Melbourne at the time, checking my phone, going, oh no, we've got all this. What do I need to do? There's all different categories. I need to tick this off and tick that off, and maybe stop that many entrants of the intermediate females because they just filled right up, and blah, 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 and end up getting home and putting a video out and going, all right, we've had to stop it for now. I'm going to try and open up some spots. And then I rejigged and worked some different things out, and the heats, the exercises, the movements, the flow, all those sorts of things, and ended up opening up to 198 spots, or it was 200 spots, whatever it was. It could be multiplied into the 3 heats. And they gave us collectively 600 athletes because there was 3 to a team. And far out, and when we opened that up, it filled up right away again. We probably had about another 30 teams that missed out, unfortunately. And people have said you could move it to the entertainment centre or different areas and this, that, and the other. The logistics of it become a nightmare at that stage. And I think we were at capacity for that day in having an 11-hour event, like non-stop. Every 20 minutes, you're rolling out another heat. And it was funny because I felt like I lost my voice at about 10 a.m. And I was like, oh man, what am I going to do here? How am I going to get on top of this now and be able to sustain the rest of the day with my voice already gone? But just to not backpedal, but take a step back and look at organising that, guys, just share some insight. It's pretty phenomenal that hundreds, and it is hundreds of hours that go into organising this, the amount of moving parts, the categories, how the categories feel following all each other, the flow of the events, the exercises, where they can be either cheated or not flow, equipment breakdowns, all these sorts of risks, the amount of people on the floor, safety risks, all these different things. There's so many things that go into this. It's crazy. People don't truly understand what goes in it, nor do they need to, but it just really is phenomenal in looking at all the moving parts that collectively make up organising it all. Now, I didn't do that alone, but in terms of the brains behind it all and what's needed to cover every single, like we're looking at the fat bars that we use, loading them with 5s and then 10s for the intermediate males, because 3 heats down the track, 3 of those bars are female beginners. So they've only got 5 kilos on the bars. So you're going to be in a position so you can strip the 10s back. So you're not taking them on and off, because those bars get sticky with the plates and the tape to bulk them up. So it's going to take extra time, which means we're running over all these things in 3 different events, or 3 different workouts in 3 different stations. So you've got 18 teams, 54 people on the floor, plus 18 judges. So you've got 72 people on the floor every 20 minutes, recalibrating, checking, changing, and then obviously I'm emceeing, trying to run it all. We've got our helpers, not just the judges, but the people who are running the score sheets, making sure the score sheets are right. And oh man, so much can go wrong. It's crazy. And I don't get it that often, but I've had it a couple of times, and I'm happily open and transparent and honest with everything. It's really crazy when I do get, it seems every year now, I guess, and even this year, there was being the biggest year, someone sort of either messaging me, and I've had that, people messaging me, asking where the money goes, which to me is like, I don't go in your house and go, what do you earn for your money, and where do your bills go, and what do you spend your money on, firstly, which was just baffling. But secondly, people looking at it and going, this is just a big money spin for Al. People have no idea what goes into this, firstly. And secondly, when you're thinking small-minded like that, you truly don't understand what is possible with the time when you have a certain skill set or an element of value that you can add. And right now, today, this day right now, the value that I have and the skill sets that I have to have impact in the world and create a source of income or monetary return or reward, let's just do the maths here. All I would need would be roughly 10 to 15 clients, whether it was RDM, personal, like mindset and perception coach clients, or gym members. Roughly 10 to 15 would be all I would need, and to have those stay for 1 year, which I've got a very high retention rate in the value and what I do with my members and how I work with them. That's all I would need. 10 to 15 people to basically assimilate into a system that's already running, it's already smooth. There's no risks, liabilities, responsibilities, no moving parts, no monstrous events, reputation on the line, risks, all these different things, extra insurances I had to take for the competition, all these things. that are not a headache, as well as an entire weekend. And other people, like I said, helped me. It was phenomenal, the help I got. But for myself, doing all of that as well would equal having 10 to 15 people come on board. It's not that hard. You crunch the numbers and that's my phone going off. Crunch the numbers and work out quite quickly. It's quite fitting that went off there to that stage, that alert. Crunch the numbers and work that out. Al had 200 teams times $240 per team. Crunch all that sort of stuff. People have no idea what goes into those sorts of things. A, the expenses, taxes, all different things that come into play. And then B, what it's actually holding me back from is actually a two-pronged approach, because what happens every time when I run a competition is it wears hard on the members, and I really feel for them and love that they give me their support and we support each other as a family and a community, because they get a lesser version of Al because he's looking after all these different things in the lead up to the event. And B, I am restricted and don't have the ability to expand my stretch, my reach. And what I'm doing is, a lot of you listening to this stuff now obviously see and understand where I'm going with this, and the rapid growth, which really is a collective of over a decade. People one day will look, and when everything explodes, go, Al just got it, or he's lucky it was an overnight success. No, mate. You have no idea what I've gone through in the last 20 years, as I have no idea, unless you've opened up, we've shared collectively what you've been through. We all have our lists. But collectively, what that held me back from was a huge amount of growth in different areas of my life. So this is something that I truly and absolutely do for the people. This is for the community. This is for everyone to be part of something special, an experience that you will not get anywhere else, an experience you may never get again, pending on if we run another one, if we do it, if you can compete at that stage, if you get in, you don't miss out, or if you're not injured, all these different things. And it's something that I love doing. My heart and soul goes into that. If you're there at the time, you'll see that. And when we are switching gears from that and seeing that this is something I truly do for the people, and sharing that stuff with you guys, I'm completely open and fine with sharing all of that. And this definitely isn't about slagging on those people. Obviously, I didn't name their names, and there's only ever a select few, and they obviously always ridicule or criticize what they feel or what they don't understand. But it really is something, when you break down the nuts and bolts of it all, it's something that I'm doing for you and for the community, and it's phenomenal, and it's worth it. And far out, what a day it was. It was massive. I think my voice is still recovering, and I've taken it very easy the week after. It's what we're up to now, 5 days in, to really make sure that I'm looking after myself and make sure I recover so I don't burn out. Years gone by when I've run comps, I've been very, very fit, so I've maintained that high level of fitness and exercise, and just really burnt out by flogging myself. But that was a massive day. It was unbelievable. The whole day collectively, I wish we did videos of the outside. Apparently I went up both ends of the street. It was just crazy. People everywhere, tents everywhere, and it was raining. It was quite poor weather, so I couldn't imagine if the sun was out and shining. But I guess we'll have to wait and see for next year if I feel that I'll run one and the opportunity presents itself to run one without being a detriment, like I said, to other areas of my life that are having high level of importance through both Raw Commando and RDM. But it was a phenomenal experience, and being there, out on the floor. The gym's, I think, nearly 700 square meters, so we could probably fit, take away some of the walls and the offices and all that sort of stuff. We're probably looking at anywhere from 500 to 650 people inside the gym there at any given time, including the athletes on the floor, of course. And what an experience. It was electric. The atmosphere was crazy. I've got some videos I'll be cutting up and putting out, as well as we have a heap load of, I think we've got over 1,000 photos for the day. That it was truly a phenomenal experience. The energy there was crazy. It was electric. And I just felt like I never felt the nerves or butterflies or any of those sorts of things. Together with all of it and the experience, I just knew, I was like, man, I'm made for this. This is me. This is my jam. This is my bread and butter. I'm going to get out there and I'm going to kill it. I'm going to give these people the best day they've ever had. And I lost my voice in 3 hours. All right. Plan 2, where's plan B? What do we do now? It's somehow I recovered. I don't know how. Oh, one of the members, Natty, gave me some peppermint drops. They really helped, actually. Should have some now. It was incredible, just the energy, everyone getting there. And what I loved about it this year was there were people from all walks of life. We had beginners, intermediate, advanced, male and female. And some of the beginner teams, it was awesome just to see the ladies and the guys get stuck into it. And there was still tough movements. They still used the fat bar and the ski ergs and the rowers and the bikes, and had to use the sled and weighted and box step-ups and all those sorts of moving parts that make it a pretty tough competition. They got in there and they got stuck in. It was really impressive to see. I loved it. It was awesome. And that's what this is about, having that reciprocal energy of engaging and putting yourself in that environment that A, challenges you, but B, returns and gives you that return on your investment of energy and rewarding you with energy for that moment, with that purpose. And one of the biggest highlights for me was seeing the dads get in there, the RDM dads. We had a crew, the RDM All Stars. The fellas did amazingly well. I didn't podium first comp for them, but that's not what it was about. And I know it's good to have that natural competitive nature or competitive edge to want to be better, and other people in your close proximity or your environment are going to push you for that. And that's what, for me, true, genuine competition is. Whether I ever used to beat Prezzo or some of the guys that I trained quite closely with, or Chris Manariti as our guest last time, whether I beat them or not, after the fact, it's all done. It's like the footy matches you see. They rip and tear, and afterwards the fellas shake hands and they leave it out there in the field knowing full well that they couldn't have been their best version or stretched or reached for a greater level of performance within themselves if they didn't have that equal or opposing force against them, denying them that easy or quick access. That's so important, guys. I feel like there's some real philosophical or foundational viewpoints you can take from this stuff when it comes from a lot of competition, which is why I love CrossFit. And nothing in this world, in any light or any industry, is either purely genuine or purely non-genuine. It's a case-by-case basis. There's good and bad in every area. But having that platform there, which I set from the top, and that standard with everyone else out there, in the rules, the foundations we had in place for the judges, how they were to be treated, the athletes, getting the standards, getting clear on everything and how we worked. The day ran beautifully and it was awesome. It was a great opportunity for me to stretch. I can do many things well, organising this competition, running RDM, which the fellas are doing amazing, and running Raw Commando, as well as being a father to Lillian, she's only, I think, 8 weeks old now, nearly 2 months, and all these different moving parts, being a husband as well, and trying to look after myself and create space for myself so I can stay strong. All these different areas, man, it's put me under the pump. Oof. Fire, I'll tell you what, this isn't a podcast about whinging or complaining. It's not about that. It's just sharing a part and a piece of who I am. I'm not invincible. I'm not unbreakable by any means. I can certainly bring myself unstuck. I do stand by a post I put ages ago and saying I am unshakable. Absolutely unshakable in my long-term pursuit of greatness and who I am. But at periodic moments of my life, there are periods where I am not invincible. I'm not unbreakable. I need to make sure that I'm looking after myself and pull back a little bit and be smart in my approach and what's important for me. Now, I feel that I've executed all of those elements of my life quite well, but I've never completely dominated or owned any one or two of them. And that is the hard part when you really spread yourself out and divide your forces, so to speak. It really does play a role in your own growth, your own belief, and what you can do to stretch. And that's another thing. There's a lot of lessons that I drew out of this, guys. And I love sharing the experience of TriFit, being out on the floor. I didn't dress up, of course, this year. Last year I was the paddle pop lion. Man, that was something else. I remember my mum's hair used to look like that, actually, sometimes in the early morning. Sorry, Mum, I love you. You know that. But yeah, so it was quite funny last year, the dress ups. But I love sharing insights into different experiences of my life, but the meaning behind it, the purpose that I can draw from that to be greater. And it really made me realize the value and the importance of not settling on being balanced across the board in how you spread your energy. And a lot of people do that. And I'm a big fan of balance. I'll do a video on that soon about balance and what it means. Quick drinks break. My throat's tearing me in half. Balance is something that is open to your viewpoint, your opinion, your perception of what you believe balance to be in your life. It's really racked my brain a lot over the years when I've looked at some of the elite athletes or coaches talk about balance is bad. You don't want balance in your life, blah, blah. And the problem is people haven't communicated clearly. It's like those old classic cliches on certain sayings or motivational quotes and all these things. It's like, well, why? Just because I'm going to listen to that? Or what's the meaning? What's the purpose behind it? Now, balance is something on which you equal or opposing weight to be upright, correct in position, to be spread across in a correct nature. You look up the definitions. It's something very similar to those lines. I looked it up yesterday, actually, and did a video for my dads with it. But what does that mean, being upright or having correct balance or proportion? What does that mean to you? You may be a female athlete that wants to go to the CrossFit Games for the next 10 years and not have kids. People will look at them from their own value system and say they're not balanced. Well, that's on you, not them. And their level of balance is on them, not you. And when you have that realization, I think you really understand that balance can be whatever you want it to be. Like my work output, both collectively from being more effective and more efficient, is higher than it's ever been, with more stresses and more mouths to feed and more people who depend on me and my immediate family and those around me than ever. How? Why? People look at that from the outside. I've had people contact Corinne going, "Are you okay, Corinne? You're alone. Is Alex doing anything with you?" Like right here, right now, I was at home. We took Stella to swim. I did everything with my family this morning, apart from a real early gym session, up until I think 10:30 or 11 o'clock. And then I'm here right now doing this podcast around midday, whenever you guys hear it. Midday, June 6th of the 6th, 2019. But, you know, like it's my day today is going to be from 11 till, I don't know, maybe around 4:30 p.m., like 5.5 hours of work. Now, I'm being extremely effective and efficient in my work there. My output is higher than ever, but I'm being smart in how I manage that. People look at that and go, look at what his post Al's doing or what he's doing. He's not balanced, man. He's going to fall apart. He's this, he's that. I don't know. I'm not suggesting that people are saying that, but I don't really care actually either. And that's the beauty of you living life on your terms, both when critics are trying to pull you down or people are trying to raise you up. Take them both with a grain of salt and say thank you and keep moving forward to your own standards and your own value system. That's where balance really strikes true in you creating whatever definition you want of balance. You know, some people might work 40 hours a week, which entitles them to have alcohol and eat shit food over the weekend, and that's balance. I've worked hard, now I'm relaxing. That's their form of relaxing. That's their form of working hard. Cool, awesome. Whatever you want to do, whatever works for you in your life. The key thing to understand, though, and I'm getting to a point with this as well, guys, is when you look at spreading your forces thin or trying to work on your weaknesses, you will lose. I'll tell you that right now. You will absolutely lose because you can't focus on too many things at once and focus on things or gifts in this world that aren't yours to give. You're not supposed to adopt that line. You shouldn't have to be that person or feel like you need to do that. Now, admittedly, being competent at certain elements is important. I used to hate, you know, whatever you would call sales, sales or calling people, talking to people, or trying to promote or push something onto them that I firmly believe in. I used to hate that. I'm phenomenal at it. Like I do it really well. I don't call it sales because I don't invite anyone into my gym or into my dad's group. It's a consultation, and I find out whether they're the right fit. And if I can no longer add value to their life in any way, shape, or form, and that isn't seen or apparent, well, then they're no longer valuable to me. Awesome. It's a win-win in our own ways of parting ways. So when I look at this, I'm like, okay, I'm not the greatest at picking my clothes up off the floor. I'll put my hand up and admit that, and maybe I never will be. And it's not about comparing myself to Einstein or these brilliant minds who are so quirky and crazy in their own ways. Their house was a mess or this or that fell apart, but they were just phenomenal at this. It's not about that. It's about helping you understand that a level of competency in certain areas of your life, whether it's business, family, relationships, personal, yeah, cool. Experience those. Come across all of those with the mindset and the perspective of this is something that I can taste or dip my foot in or get a feel for what it is and get a base level of competency or ability to perform and execute that. But don't ever do it at the prolonged or continual deprivation or deterioration of your strengths. You've got to focus on your strengths. And I'm pretty sure it's clear to all of you guys from my life and where I am. It can be whatever you want, but eventually, if you keep asking the right questions of yourself, the right questions, and are knocking on enough doors, life will find you. Your gifts will find you. And it's pretty clear that my gift is going to be a high level, and it currently is now, will continue to grow to be a high level influencer in helping people move forward. Motivation, yeah, but moving forward and seeing the greatness in their life, like truly believing that they can have a new set of eyes in which they can choose to see the world, from which they can take actionable change to step up in their life instead of being retracted, withdrawn, staying in their lane and just living the way it is just because it is what it is. I'm downplayed, my posture's bad, I'm just accepting it. I'm being passively vulnerable instead of being actively vulnerable in liberating and taking ownership over my circumstances and living life on my terms. It's all possible. We can do all of it. I communicate that really well. I've got a great level of charisma, presence. My belief and love for humanity is endless and is paramount to my success, which is why it continues to grow. And I realize that more and more. And I know there's shit going on in the world. I know there's some bad stuff going on. I'm aware of some pretty deep, dark stuff. that, you know, whether people want to call them conspiracies or not, is irrespective of the fact that I make sure that even though I can be aware of that, I don't live there. I don't live there. I'm not saying everyone in this world is a saint, but that's always from a viewpoint of perspective. So looking at yourselves, guys, in your lives and just taking a chance, diving into things where you can taste stuff as an example, or you can try stuff and see where you're at. And I feel that this is something that's a great benefit or value to anyone who's under 35, because generally your risks, the liabilities, or the pressures are lower than people as we get older, as we age and get older, more mouths to feed, established or set careers. Things become a little bit harder. We slow down a little bit. I'm not saying as you get older, you should fall apart. I've got a dad who's 70, Steve Cotton. He's phenomenal shape. The guy's unbelievable, super fit, and he runs a very, very successful painting business. And even his son, Dan Cotton, unbelievable men and very, very fit as they get older. I'm not saying you need to adopt the normal, be common or average in your pursuit of living your best life as we get older, but it does get harder as we get older. We all realize and understand that, myself included. Now, it's really hard to express your best version and be who you are if you're not asking yourself the right questions and you're not diving into trying a few things and really feeling. It's an intrinsic nature, an intuition that you have inside of you, of the gift that you have to give the world. We've all got different gifts. And bringing that point back around to TriFit Games, to collectively bring together probably the last 10 minutes of me speaking without mentioning TriFit Games, it is absolutely what that has been for me. It's been a phenomenal lesson. It has been something I've looked at and gone, man, you've done it, Al. You've achieved this. The whole time, no word of a lie. And this isn't ego or arrogance. And I know you guys feel that, but it's good to reinforce and really share that with you, because if I'm aware of that, then I can make sure that I'm constantly humbled with a level of humility, that I don't ever engage in something that I'm greater than X, Y, Z. I'm just trying to be greater than myself, who that person was yesterday. And that's what we should all do. But no word of a lie. The whole time when I was running TriFit, I was like, apart from obviously the stresses every 5 to 10 minutes in case we lost a dumbbell, which we did, but we found one, and a barbell breaking. The reality is, because of the way that they all hinged on each other, all it would take was one skier or one bike to break, and the entire day would have been screwed. I don't think people realize the level of risk involved when it's too late. That stage is just too late. So I think I'll make sure that I probably cover those ends a bit better. But the whole time, apart from that, when I was doing it, I was like, this is amazing. This is so easy. I'm so much stronger now. I'm so much stronger than last year in my performance, my delivery, emceeing, supporting people, supporting each other, helping raise up the standard of my own ability in this competition. What's next? And I was literally visualizing. There's a great video by Les Brown called "It's Not Over Until I Win." And he dives into a story where he beats his son at Connect 4 like 10, 12, 15 times. And I'm tired, John Leslie. I'm going to bed. No, Dad, we're not going to bed. I'm tired. I'm just going bored. Well, it's not over until I win. And the son started ranting and raving. He's all right, let's win. And then he played a few more times. And the son ended up winning, whether he let him or not, who knows. But then he goes, all right, Dad, I've had enough. I'm ready for bed. And it's a phenomenal video because he's in a stadium of over 80,000 people, just delivering some awesome value in people looking to get after their lives and being the best they can be. That's all I was thinking about. That the whole time I was like, this is awesome. And I wasn't saying that I've outgrown or I'm better than anyone else who would have trouble getting that position. It's just my journey. It's who I am. I looked at it, I was like, this is unreal. 500 to 600 people, maybe 700, who knows, inside the gym, over 1,500 people through on the day. Who knows the exact number? It might have been 1,200. Doesn't matter. Huge amount of people, huge amount of pressure, impact, energy all around. And I want more. Give me more. This is my element. This is my jam. This is what Al does best. And it's something from which I truly feel that I will continue with this path, whether I do a collective of RDMRC and then I start doing some keynote speaking or something, or trying to speak at different events or create my own events where I'm really trying to help people and just deliver a message that's got a level of comprehension so that anyone can look at it and go, yes, I can do that. It's not about screaming down your throat, going, pump up this, pump up that, and just motivating you for 2 minutes or 2 days and then you disappear and fall apart again. It's about putting things in place that help you ask that question. Ask yourself the question, why? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? What is important to this? And it's not just about your why, it's about who. Who do I want? Start with that first. Who do I want to be in this lifetime? Who does Alex Ranieri want to be in this lifetime as he is right now and then in future present moments? Why is that important? What does that look like and how do I get there? And the power of visualization is real because everything happens twice in this world. First in the internal, inside of yourself. Second on the external, outside of yourself. Another quick drinks break. My throat is falling apart. Thank you for your patience. What a day. Far out. It's phenomenal when you find that and you can align with that. Don't sell yourself short. And there's no definitive answer. I don't know where this will go. Maybe I won't do that stuff. Maybe I'll continue and do everything I can to reach massive amounts of engagement, involvement in RDM. You just don't know. I didn't grow up saying I was going to own a gym. I didn't grow up saying I was going to talk at, I want to talk at stadiums to 50 to 100,000 people, helping them liberate themselves of the constraints and the traps they feel in their own life, turning them from a victim into a victor. Like, these are all things that came to fruition over a period of years on a deeper internal yearning and love for humanity, and helping the common man, helping fellow man and woman, obviously, saying, be better within themselves and see they can be better. Because sometimes it takes someone else to believe in you first for you to then believe in yourself. And it's so true. I live that every day with people, every day, because I'll always believe in you. I'll always have a high level and a higher level of belief in you than you may have of yourself, because of the scope and the range in which I can see the world and people. I don't see you as you currently are. I see you as who you can be, and so much more. And what a powerful thing when you have someone like that in your life, someone influence you that way, someone be a part of your life in that respect. That's powerful stuff. And I'm not saying I'm the man and you have to have me in your life. I'm saying this is something where there truly is a gift and an opportunity that we both have together. You're listening to this now and me sharing this with you, because I can't just go off talking to myself in the woods and create the change that I want. And it's not that I rely on external validation or metrics of people's results, successes in their life to validate my own life. Your victories are yours. If I get one person from this podcast episode to go out there and kick ass tomorrow, that's a win for them. Good on them. I may never even know about it, which reinforces my point about not having to rely on that. But what a beautiful synergistical relationship that we have. Like, it is that reciprocal energy, the swings and roundabouts that we have here. And that is what I've found. And that is what I continue to harness. And there are other areas that I may be competent at, but not excel or great at in my life. I'm not Mr. Invincible who can just dominate every single area. I learn very, very quickly. I'm very sharp. I'm very witty. I'm not bad at jokes. Although my dad jokes, my dad's got thousands. I think I need to take a leaf out of his book for that one. Maybe he should do an apprenticeship of dad's jokes. That's an amazing opportunity. I think Dad would probably kill that. But there's certainly areas of my life that I will never be extremely effective or excel at, but that's okay. Because by focusing on the few key points of my life that I can just own and dominate and be that gift to the world, just like you have, and just like someone else down the street has, and someone else in that suburb, we've all got our own gifts to offer the world. When you start to focus on finding that and realizing that, instead of just all the fluff and the outside noise and drilling on, opportunities will create themselves. The ability to be better within yourself and stretch and grow at a rapid rate, but also with the patience of the macro goal at hand over a period of 10, 20, 30 years. It's amazing. It's phenomenal. It truly is an opportunity that we have. And it doesn't mean you have to own a gym or talk or be a motivational speaker. It's within your own right. It is crazy how the universe works. These opportunities will absolutely present themselves. And that's what I love here and now, and what I'm doing. I look at the growth I've had, and it's like I've had a huge amount of growth in the last 8 months. It's been crazy at a much higher accelerated rate. Even though right now there isn't a high effectiveness of monetary reward or fame or all this, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's not about that. If that's the forefront of your focus, then you'll lose. And I know that stuff will come anyway because of the value and impact I'll add to the world. But seeing the last 8 months, that accelerated growth, man, it scares me in a good way. It scares me where I'm going to be in 5 years. And again, not tooting my own horn, just that hunger. Once you flick that switch, you can't stop. You can't go back. You continue to be hungry to find, to navigate, find and in pursuit of your greatness and what you align with. And there's plenty of dead ends. You come back a little bit and then go find another path. And that is your path. It's like a whole network in which you're ingraining or enrooting the system of the massive tree that you'll become. But you've got many different routes and lines in which you're discovering that for yourself and drawing your strength from in who you can be. And when this is happening, I always look back and reflect and go, well, you know what, Al, this has been happening for 20 years, mate, when you were that obese fat boy. This is when it started. This isn't something that the last 8 months, the last 2 months, the last 6 weeks is just giving you this massive growth. It's a collective of your entire life. When you have that ability to tap into that and see that, guys, then some amazing things will certainly enter your life, including the opportunities from which you can choose, which is absolutely what life is, choice. And that's what I love about the Tri-Fit Games and what I did in helping running that competition. And I appreciate all the feedback I got for that. And I love putting this on for the people. And it was an amazing experience. It truly was. It's awesome. I'd love to run it again next year. I just don't know where I'll be as well in that stage and what's happening. I might have other people help me. Who knows? But it was an amazing thing that I would absolutely love to do again if the opportunity provides. Anyway, guys, this will wrap up our episode of the Tri-Fit Games, the greatness within, and really stretching and striving and pushing towards your strengths. Having that awareness, that acuity to go, yes, I'm gonna focus on this for a while and just get that tunnel vision, get after that. That's important. Please do not listen to, I'm not calling it, it's not a conspiracy, the mainstream or the masses, or don't listen to something that's been predisposed or conditioned or put onto you either now, last week, 20 years ago, just because. Don't listen to it or do it just because. Question yourself, challenge yourself. Balance, what does balance mean to you in your life? Greatness in your life, does it mean being even across the board, like a stereo mixer with all these different sort of controls and levers? Or maybe it's just 3 points of your life you absolutely dominate, knowing those other 7 or 8 or 15. It's okay. I'm not going to be that great at it, but I'll be confident. But it's not going to affect me in my life where I'm just running around in the mouse wheel and feel like I'm going nowhere fast. I'm trying to blend and balance all different skill sets that I have. I hope you enjoy this, guys. Really appreciate your time. And yes, the drinks breaks are real. If you're watching this on YouTube, again, my throat's falling apart. I appreciate your time as always, guys. Thank you. And please, if you ever need anything, please let me know. I'm always here for you. Any way, shape or form you need anything. You don't need to be a dad. You don't need to be an athlete or a member of my gym or a member of a CrossFit gym. If there's something in your life where you feel you need that little nudge, that little push, something or someone to help you, just see something a bit differently. Throw a new set of eyes in there for a second, or change the lens in which we can see certain hardships, and they may have been around for a while. I'm your man. I can help you. We can help each other in helping you move forward, because your success is my success, and I'll always be relentless in my pursuit for humanity to be better in and within themselves, in and for each other. Thank you, everyone. Take care and have an awesome, lovely afternoon, evening, day, morning. Now, if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Or as Chris Manariti says, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. Take care, guys. See you soon.